typically wear my glasses in my videos, but I just got these new ones and I think they're cute. Hey guys, it's Olivia and I'm back with another video. So you know how sometimes it's like 2 a.m. and you're trying to fall asleep and your mind was just like free the whole day, and then the minute your head hits the pillow, all of a sudden your mind starts racing and you just can't fall asleep? Okay, well in this week's video I'm going to share with you one of the thoughts that I've been having a lot recently, and I don't really know why, that I always seem to get when I'm just trying to fall asleep. So you know how when a man and a woman get married, how the woman is typically expected to take the man's last name? And I know that like now I have options. Like I could just straight up keep my maiden name, or I could hyphenate, or I could just straight up take my husband's last name. I know that I have options now. And the thing is, I'm 23, I'm not in a relationship, so I don't see myself getting married anytime soon. So it's not like, oh my gosh, the date is coming up and I haven't decided if I'm changing my last name yet. Like, no, it's not even that. I'm very much single and my potential wedding date is very far in the future. And that's the problem. So, the thing is, if you get married relatively young, then you're going to spend majority of your life with your married name. So for example, let's create a hypothetical scenario for me. So let's say I get married when I'm 30, right? And then let's say I'm gonna live till I'm 90, right? So for the first 30 years of my life, from 0 to 30, I am Olivia Henry. And then I get married to someone named Bob Wilson, right? And I decide to take his last name. So now I'm Olivia Wilson. So then from 30 to 90, I'm Olivia Wilson. So for the first 30 years, I'm Olivia Henry. And then for the next 60 years, I'm Olivia Wilson. And the thing is, since I'm not in a relationship, and since I don't think I've met the person I'm going to marry, I don't know what my future last name is going to be, which means there is a name that I am going to have for majority of my life, and I don't know what it is. And that bugs me. That really bothers me, and I don't know why. I really don't know why, but it's like majority of the people I meet in my life are going to meet me under a different name, because the amount of people I'm going to meet between the ages of 30 and 90 is going to be probably twice as much as the amount of people I met between 0 and 30. So in the first 30 years of my life, let's say I've met and introduced myself to 1,000 people. Then for the next 60 years, let's double that. Now I've met and introduced myself to 2,000 people. So majority of the people I'm gonna meet throughout my whole entire life are going to meet me under a name that I don't even know. Like, I don't know what it is yet. I'll know it at the time, but I don't know yet. And that really bugs me. Like, I'm going to spend majority of my life with a name, and I don't know what it is yet. And this is gonna take a little bit of a downward turn for a second, but we're all gonna die, okay? And I think about this a lot. I think that my married name is the name that's gonna be on my headstone. So not only is Olivia Wilson going to be the name I have for my lifespan, but it's also going to be the name I have after I die. So everyone who sees my headstone well after I'm dead, it could be the year 2187. And if I was alive in 2187, I'd be 188, which, unless they develop some next level technology, I'm not going to live to 188, right? So it's going to be the year 2187. I won't be alive anymore, but my headstone will still be there. Like, my grave will still exist. And so whenever someone, I don't know, walks past my grave, they're going to be like, oh, Olivia Wilson. Wonder who she was. I don't know. The point is that not just during my lifespan, but even long after I'm dead, people are still going to know of me as Olivia Wilson. So I'm going to spend from I'm 30 till the end of time as Olivia blank. And I don't know what the blank is. I don't know. I don't know why it bothers me. Like, during the day when I'm just like out and about living my daily life, this isn't on my mind. I'm not like, oh my gosh, what is my name gonna be after I'm dead? Like, no, I'm not thinking about that during the day. But for some reason, when I'm just like, oh, I'm tuckered out from my day, let me get some rest, all of a sudden my mind wants to start thinking about the name on my headstone. I don't know why. I cannot tell you. But that's what I be thinking. And as I said at the beginning of this video, I have options. Like, I could just decide right now, I'm not gonna change my last name. So then I don't have to go into this spiral of, oh my gosh, I'm gonna spend majority of my life and the afterlife with a name that I don't know yet. Like, I could just halt to that thought by just making the decision, I'm not gonna change my last name, right? But then that creates a new problem for me specifically, because the thing about me is if I do end up getting married, then I also hope to have kids, right? And my child will have the same last name as me. Let me explain a little bit further. So let's say I marry Bob Wilson and I decide to change my name to Olivia Wilson, right? Then if we have a kid, our kid is going to be Timmy Wilson, right? But let's say that I marry Bob Wilson, but I don't decide to change my last name and I'm still Olivia Henry, then my kid is going to be Timmy Henry. Like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever my last name is when I give birth to a human, that is going to be the last name of that human. Like, straight up, I'm so sorry, but like, I did majority of the work in the creation of this human. Like, let's just be real here. So our kid is gonna have my last name. So if my last name happens to also be my husband's last name, then cool. But if me and my husband have different last names, our kid's having my last name. Like, I'm so sorry. So then it's like, it creates a whole new problem, because then that's a whole new conversation that I need to have with the man I end up with. Because I feel like, and I could be wrong, but I feel like a lot of men like look forward to passing on their family name, right? So then if said man who looks forward to that ends up falling in love with me and I'm like, haha, you thought our kid's last name is Henry, then you know what I'm saying? That's a whole other conversation that needs to be had, like, well before the kid and well before the marriage. Like, you talk about that kind of stuff before, like, you're not gonna be 9 months pregnant and be like, oh, by the way, what last name are we using? You know what I'm saying? Like, that is a conversation you have like way beforehand, you know what I'm saying? So then by me making the decision now to just say, okay, let me just give myself peace of mind, I'm not going to change my last name, then it doesn't give me peace of mind for the future, because now that's a new conversation that I have to have. So my two options are decide now not to change my last name and create a potentially difficult conversation in the future, or just continue to spiral for however many years until I meet my future husband. Those are my two options right now. Does anyone else have that thought? Like, I feel like primarily women, like, I know that men can change their last name. I know one couple where the guy actually took his wife's last name. So, like, I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, I feel like mostly women, and like traditionally in the past leading up until this point, traditionally women take the man's last name. And so I feel like mainly women would have this thought process, my last name is going to change and I don't know what it is. Like, does anyone else think about that? Because I don't know. I think about it a little bit too much and it's driving me nuts. Share with me in the comments below some thoughts that just randomly pop into your head, whether it's like, oh, I'm just driving and I randomly had this thought, or I'm trying to fall asleep and I randomly had this thought, or I'm doing the dishes and I randomly had this thought. Like, do you ever just have things where it's like, on a typical day, I would never think of this, but like every now and then this thought just randomly pops into my head? Like, share some of those thoughts in the comments below. But that's all for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you think your friends will enjoy it, be sure to share it with them. All my social media links will be down below in case you want to follow me on there. Be sure to subscribe to my channel because I make new videos every Monday. Thank you to my channel members, and be sure to check out one of these suggested videos, and I'll see you next Monday with a new video.